It has been a minute, to say the least.
Yeah,
Busy, busy month, but it went by quickly, which is nice. I'll say that.
that's good.
hmm
It's been
I
a hot
mean,
minute, guys.
it's known that I'm in university, so I feel like also if anyone was watching this, they're either not busy. They're either busy or they don't watch the show. So, oh well.
Yeah.
But welcome back to the TGH podcast. Um, we have a few things on the docket. Probably take it easy. We have to pick things up for next week and then get some ideas down. I think let's start off with the biggest thing for you, Lyn. You got to go to
Oh,
Epic Universe actually.
yeah, I did. I was able to do the annual pass preview at Epic, and it was really fun. Um, it was overwhelming, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish I went 2 days in a row, so one day I could just, like, take it all in, and then the second day just kinda, like, actually do rides, because
Yeah.
the lands were, like, pretty big, and there's, like, so much detail and, like, so much to do, but when I go to parks, to be honest, I'm a rides person, so I'd, like, prioritize rides, like, over anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, like, my favorite, like, section of the park was, like, Super Nintendo. That was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um Sorry to admit this, I have never seen like How to Train Your Dragon ever. Um, I'm not really like a fan from what I know of like the franchise, so that did not appeal to me.
Fair.
Um, Dark Universe, Dark Universe was cool, but it's kind of lame during the day, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Like,
I've
I
seen
feel like
posts
it would have been
comparing
cool
them.
at night.
Yeah, I've seen posts comparing it, and it's kind of like in the daytime, it's just a place, but it really shines when it's at night because they have a lot of things going on, and like they even have. Isn't there like a burning windmill? It's like literally
Yeah,
on
I mean,
fire.
like, yeah, that happens, I think, every 30 minutes to an hour, like even during the
Damn.
day, but that's definitely a cool effect at night to see.
I wonder
Um,
how much money Universal spends in total because they have the dragon in Diagon Alley, and that spits fire every
yeah,
day. I think same thing every 30 minutes. And then now they have the windmill, and I think they have a couple other things at Epic that have fire. So then it's like, how much flammable material do they have to just.
yeah. But that's also like a question for Rainforest Cafe at Disney Springs, because the volcano goes off like every 30 minutes to an
Oh,
hour too.
that's true.
It's
But
like,
that's pretty sick.
ooh, yeah.
hmm
But no, Dark Universe was really cool. I just wish like I had time or like the opportunity to explore it at night. Ministry of Magic or whatever. I'm not a Harry Potter person. I'm so sorry, but um, the new Harry Potter expansion that was cool, but it was like it felt like very empty. Like there
hmm
wasn't like a lot of things to do in there, so
Yeah.
I was kind of like disappointed.
Well, there's
But
there's the interactive stuff, so you have to get a wand.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
I believe they have a cafe and a bar, and then there's four
yeah,
shops, a show, the circus, and then the
yeah,
ride. But I thought
yeah.
just from like the promotional material, I thought that Ministry of Magic, I thought you could go into the ministry just to like explore and like also have a way to have shade and maybe there's going to be a shop in there, but isn't the Ministry of Magic literally just for the ride? Like you can't go in there otherwise?
Yeah, it's just for the ride. I mean, I didn't even attempt to go because right now they're doing a virtual queue for the ride, and I hate to say it, their virtual queue system, it's kinda I think
Can
I
you
prefer
explain how
Disney's.
it works for Epic? Cuz it's like how does it compare then?
Yeah, so keep in mind Epic is opening next month, so actually just under a month from now. So of
Mhm.
course, if you're watching this and you might be going to Epic, it might change. I'm not too sure what they're gonna do. But when I went, it opened at 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and then 6 p.m. So you had three chances to try, which I liked. But the
Mhm.
issue is it asked how many people were in your party. So even though I was by myself, I could have said like, "Oh, I have 6 people in my party." And like
Mm.
reserved like 6 spaces, but it was
Mhm.
strange because you had to select a time period. So 11:45 to 12:10, I was like, "Oh, okay, like let me try and get that." I tried and then it would think and it would spin and it'd go, "Sorry, that time has already been taken. Try another one." So I would keep trying all the different times. Even the very last one said, "Sorry, this time has already been taken."
It should
And then
gray out
another
then. It
thing
should
that
make it
like
that you can't do it at all.
exactly. And then this pissed me off to no end, but I tried one last time at 6 p.m. and I was like, all right, let's see if I can get it. And I got on the app at like 6 p.m. I remember because I was texting you at the same time. And I was like, oh, I think I missed it. And like it was grayed out, like, oh, sorry. It like kind of appeared like we have no more spaces left. But then 2 minutes later, someone who was sitting like a few spaces down from me was like on the app and with her like travel companion was like, "Oh, like it's available now." So it's like don't say that it's available at 6 and then
Mhm.
have it be available like at 6:02. And I did notice cuz when I was getting my fuel rod, their fuel rod stations are right next to like little guest experience locations throughout the park. A lot of people were like complaining about the virtual queue.
Yeah. It should be the same style that Disney has, where it's you have a profile, and then you have a friend
Right.
list, and you can only book people that are in your friend list. Like that's the most
Mhm.
logical thing, so that people don't do what you're saying, where they're like, I'll just book 6, but I'm only a group of 2.
Yeah, but I have seen people like on the subreddit or whatever for Universal in general, like Universal Orlando, like someone was like, "Oh, hey, like I was able to get 4 spots, but it's just me giving away the 3 to whoever's here today."
See,
Like
now
I kind of like
yeah,
understand.
they're gonna make people greedy. That's the issue.
Yeah, it's like what a nice gesture, but also like that's
Mhm.
just you. Like
Exactly.
that's kind of
I don't
weird,
think it's
but
in. I'm sorry. I don't think the majority of people doing that are doing it to be nice. They're doing it to make a profit. Like I bet
yeah.
people will be like $5 and I'll give it to
Hey,
you.
$10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But I don't know, I wish I could have explored that, I think it would have been interesting, but I actually spent more time in the Harry Potter section than Isle of Berk, which is the How to Train Your
Hmm.
Dragon section, which is kinda
Yeah.
weird for me, and then, Celestial Park, that was gorgeous. It was just
Hmm.
beautiful, wide open space, but Super Nintendo was my favorite. I have a
Hmm.
new favorite ride in all of Orlando.
Oh my!
It's the Yoshi ride.
And it shocks me that this is your favorite of all time. Like, isn't it intended for kids?
Yeah, I showed a video to my brother last night because I was like talking it up while we were at dinner, and I was like, "Oh man, like I love that ride so much." Because him and I are planning to go back soon, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh, we're gonna have to do it like when we go." Like I was talking it up, and he's like, "I kind of want to see what this ride is." So we get back to the car, and I'm sitting there like on YouTube holding my phone up, and he's like, "What?" But basically, he was like, "What is this?" But basically, the Yoshi ride, um, think of it like People Mover, but like a lot slower, like a lot slower. And you're sitting in a Yoshi, and there's different colors. There's like a green Yoshi, like typical Yoshi, a pink one, a blue one, yellow, orange. And when you sit down, you have a little lap bar, and there's 3 eggs, a red one, a blue one, and a green one. And throughout this ride, you just go through like different scenes. And like whenever you see an egg, it's like, oh, blue egg. You press the blue egg button. And when you see the red egg, you press the red egg, and that's literally the whole premise of the ride. And then at the end, you get the golden egg, but it's Toad holding the golden egg. So even if you don't press the buttons and you just sit there, you still get the golden egg.
You didn't earn it though. Okay, you got to think about that.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But the music is like
I'm
so good.
I'm watching it right now, and it does look nice because you're like over top, so you also get to see the whole area. It does look
Yeah,
cool how there's like indoor and outdoor areas. There's like a lot of
it is
moving
cool.
animatronics because there's like thwomps and piranha plants.
What's a
Um,
thwomp? Is that the spiky thing?
yeah. Oh, he drops down. He's like a cinder block.
Oh, I thought you were talking about those things that look like a spiky snowman. but they're like
Mm-mm.
desert.
Mm-mm. No,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know
what those
those
are
names.
called.
Okay, but
Okay.
what happens? Does anything happen in the scene when you click the egg color?
Yeah,
Or you
Yoshi
just
just like
click?
makes a noise. He's like, "Meow, meow." But then like I pressed it when there was not an egg, just because I was like, oh, what does this do? And he kind of like gets mad at you. He goes, meow.
He's disappointed
I
that you
like
weren't
it.
aware where there was an egg.
Exactly.
Well,
My like complaint though. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, um, attached to it though, and I'm more excited for this. No offense,
Yeah.
is Donkey Kong Country. It looks like
Oh
like
yeah.
such a well designed area.
It was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they actually just brought out Donkey Kong, like the character meet and greet, like 2 days after I went. I was like so upset.
Oh,
I
damn
saw it
it.
all over Twitter and I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of like interactive things. This looks good. I was gonna get it for you to give you like the barrel portion and the spoon, but
No, see, no, like no offense to theme parks when they do this. It's just not my thing. I know that
yeah,
people collect it, but when I grew up, my parents always kind of put in my head like, "Are you gonna use this? Like, how often are you gonna use this?"
yeah.
And if I say I'll use it every week, they'll be like, "Really? Because you said that about the last thing you asked us to buy, and
Ooh.
where is it right now?" And I couldn't say where in the house it was because I never used it. So like,
Yeah,
as much as I want to get it because it's funny and it comes in a barrel, it's like, well, would I actually use the barrel? That's the question. It does look delicious, and
yeah.
I heard that
I
it's
don't
a must try.
yeah, I don't know. It did look very refreshing. It looked really good, but
Hmm.
I don't know. I was not feeling good when I went, and a lot of it had to do with my biggest complaint about the park, which is the lack of shade. Like,
Hmm.
I understand, like, it's a brand new park, and they just put all these new trees in, so it's gonna take a few years for them to, like, grow out.
Hmm.
But it was so hot, and this is April. This is
Hmm.
not even, like, summertime yet.
Hmm.
So it was, like, really brutal.
And
And
when it comes
another
to
one of my
Florida heat,
complaints is
doesn't Florida heat get hotter as you get closer to August?
yeah, August
Hmm.
is the worst.
Hmm.
It's awful.
Yeah.
And it was insane. It was nuts. Like, I'm really glad I brought a water bottle with me. That's the one thing I really like about Universal is they have the Coke Freestyle machines and their
Mm.
water is like it's so fresh and like you get the little nugget ice
Mm.
or no, they don't have the nugget ice. You just get the regular ice then, but it's still like
Damn.
so refreshing to have like your water bottle with you.
Nugget ice
And
is the best
another
though. You can't replace
it
that.
is. Now you're making me want to go to Wawa after this, get some nugget ice.
Damn.
But another one of my complaints too, the amount of stairs. It's not very accessible, I feel like.
Hmm.
Especially like Super Nintendo, there's stairs everywhere. When you get into the tunnel, you actually take up an escalator and then you're at the very top of the land, which is cool for like perspective reasons, but then you have to take like 3 flights of stairs down just to get like to the main like ground level. And then
Hmm.
when you go on the rides, there's like multiple stairs too. And it's like
I
I
wonder
don't
why they did that. Like they made it essentially a very big bowl and you have to be at the top to begin.
yeah.
Like why couldn't they have had it that you enter ground level and there's a staircase section next to you so you can have like a high POV and you can see the castle like at an eye level at that high spot.
Yeah.
But they make it that it's the same as because isn't all three other portals, isn't it just a walk straight? Like you just go straight through the
Yeah.
portal? So yeah, I wonder
Yeah.
what it was about
So
Nintendo that they
strange.
made them do that.
I don't know. And it's like so weird too because there are ground level ways to get inside the land if you didn't want to take the escalator. And then there's also a elevator, but the elevator's not like heavily themed. And if you're
Oh,
coming in through the ground, yeah, and if you're coming in through the ground way, it's basically the exit. of the land, which is kind of lame. At one point, I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, so I actually went through the exit multiple times through the day. And
Wow.
then in the queue for Yoshi, it's like all like ground level, and then before you get up to the ride, it's like, oh, here's some stairs. And like you can take like there's elevators in there, but it's like
Hmm.
I don't know, it's like
That's
crazy. And like I really don't mind stairs, but I was just shocked. I was like, I can't imagine like if you have like mobility issues or if you're like a big Nintendo fan and you might be like in a wheelchair, like I feel like that takes away from your experience.
absolutely, yeah. It's it's interesting because also you and I are both so used to Disney World, and I feel like most people are
Yeah.
used to Disney World if they go to theme parks. And I think
Mhm.
even Epic was mainly ramps. It was mainly like a gradual arc up or a gradual arc down. There wasn't too many staircases that
Yeah.
I can think of. But I know Disney
Wait, for
specifically,
Epic?
like, no, for Universal.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I know that for Walt Disney World, it was made to have essentially just ramps. And if there is a staircase,
Mhm.
it's more put to the side and the ramp is more emphasized. But
Yeah.
yeah, it just seems like Epic, it's a lot more staircase. And then Disneyland, actually, when I went, I very quickly noticed there was like
Staircases.
a staircase in front of you and then a ramp to the side, but it was clear the ramp was more newly built because of
Yeah.
mobility
That was
concerns.
yeah, that was like my biggest like day and night difference when I went to Disneyland was the amount of stairs. Like it's so weird because their Jungle Cruise, it's like, "Ah, you're gonna go upstairs." I
Yeah,
was like, "Wait,
that
what?"
caught me off guard when I saw that.
Yeah,
But
I don't know,
but
it's just like so strange.
but I will say I kind of preferred the Disneyland one more because it felt
Mhm.
more immersive. Like it didn't feel like I was just walking to the boat. Like it kind of felt nice that it was like there was an office
Yeah.
upstairs almost, and there was like more to explore.
Right.
Same for Mission
And the
Breakout. It was kind of nice that it had like the second story, and you could look down and see like a bigger cage because they had all that more room to use.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I feel like with them utilizing more vertical space, they can add like more props and things in, which is like really interesting. And I
Yeah,
mean, Disneyland is more like original to the time it was built, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. It
yeah.
just like really surprised me with Epic, especially with it being like a modern park. But
Hmm.
overall, I really enjoyed it. Their food is really good. Um,
You
the
got the
merchandise is
cone
so cute.
You got the cone mac and cheese from Isleburg. I think that was like one of the only reasons you went to Isleburg, right?
Yeah, I got the PB&J, which is like the pork belly and jam or like the peanut butter. I don't know. It had
Pork
like
belly and jam.
pork belly and then like yeah, and then it also had like this peanut tasting sauce. It was pretty good, but the mac
Ooh.
and cheese was kind of like average, but the cone was good. It was like a baked cone with everything
It,
seasoning on it.
if you could compare that mac and cheese to Flame Tree Barbecue at Animal Kingdom,
Yeah.
what would it rank? Higher or lower?
You're not gonna like my answer.
Are you gonna say it's better
I
than
say higher, and I say it's higher because every single time I go to Flame Tree, my mac and cheese is cold every single time. Like it's kind of like room
well, are you
temp.
picking it up? Are
It's
you
not like
picking it
hot.
up quick enough? Because
Yeah,
I've worked there. It's hot. Like it is scalding hot.
come on, I get it.
I think we
I
gotta
wish you were
go, and
there to
I gotta
serve
make
it.
sure you actually pick it up when it comes.
Let's park hop. Let's go.
Oh God.
But
Well,
but yeah, that
actually,
was good. I wish.
that's the next adventure for Lynn and I is
Oh yeah.
Park Hop, Hollywood, and Epcot, and then what is it? Volcano Bay, and I've never been to Volcano Bay, which is the water park for Universal. I actually have oh
I'm
my gosh,
excited.
I just remembered a story about Volcano Bay. It's a little sad, but it's
Spill.
funny.
Oh,
Okay, it was a
okay.
story a family member told me when they went, but essentially what happened was, um, two of my family members went to Volcano Bay, and there's one flume ride, or like you know the bigger tubes where you sit with your back away, like your back against the end of the tube, and then it's like a really big tube, so you
Yeah.
like splash around. It's like a family raft.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So there's obviously a weight limit to it because there's safety reasons for like if there's too much weight, you'll go flying
Yeah.
over. But what ended up happening in front of my family members was there was a heavier set woman and another woman with her daughter, and they were also
Mhm.
a bit bigger. And the girl trying to join the mom and daughter, and they wanted to go all three of them because they were being nice.
Yeah.
A red alarm went off and a noise went off to basically say too much weight. So the entire lineup saw
I would have
and
cried.
witnessed big back alert. Like that was quite literally a big back alert alarm. So it's like
Oh my
why
god.
why isn't there just like something for the cast member to like have on their dashboard with all those buttons that's like a light that blinks that's like weight limit exceeded, and then they can have like a private conversation with the guests and be like, for safety reasons I'm gonna have to ask that your party splits up and perhaps joins another family for safety regulations. But instead they have an alarm go off and a noise go off and a light go off, and they basically say go away. So then the lady
Oh my
had to
god.
very awkwardly look at my family members and be like, I'm sorry, am I able to join you guys? Which they said yes, because like they're not going to be rude
Yeah.
in that kind of situation. But it's just like so
Right.
upsetting to see that kind of thing happen.
I would cry. That was
Yeah.
like that was like one thing like I didn't realize, but Universal I feel like does a good job like kind of like hiding like, "Oh, this is stand here, stand here." Like it's like,
Hmm.
"Why am I standing here?" And then you kind of see behind you it does tell you like what the weight limit is, but I like when I went and I've only been that one time, I've never like experienced like it going
Hmm.
off, and like I think like I would have left after that. I would have been
Yeah, I
like, I'm
that'd be
humbled."
so embarrassing. I do like though that Volcano Bay, isn't it what like overall like a tropical vibe?
I like it. I already told Braden. I was like, I gotta do this. I'm sorry, but I gotta wear water shoes.
Oh, because didn't you say the issue for Volcano Bay is a lot of spaces is exposed to the sun, so like you blister your feet
Well,
very easily.
it not really. It really was not that bad on the feet in terms of it being hot. They actually have water sprinklers going on. So it's not too bad. The issue is like the texture of the pavement. It's like
Mm-hmm.
very rough.
Oh, it's
But
gritty.
for some of the rides, they do. Yeah, it's gritty. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
like can't do it. It like tore up my feet. And then the
Yikes.
next weekend I actually had my Run Disney race, so that did not help. But
Yep.
that's why like I'm planning on wearing shoes, like water shoes, but they actually have like a space, like a cubby that you can place them because some rides don't allow it.
Mm. That's one
So you
thing.
just like go up and like pick it
Hmm.
up.
We still need to do the ranking episode for Epic. Not Epic. We can't. We have to do it for Universal and
Yeah.
what is the second park? I always just see it as one park. Is it Isle of Adventure?
Yeah, Islands of Adventure, yeah.
Islands of Adventures. We need to do two episodes, one for each. But the thing I'll say right now is I don't like that every single ride at Epic, or oh my god, I'm so used to saying Epic. Every single ride at Universal Studios, it is just um like it's cubbies. Every single place is cubbies. Even like the
Yeah.
moderately moving rides, it's a cubby. Like why
Mhm.
do I have to put my bag in a cubby? We're not doing a 360. Why can't I just put it in front
Mhm.
of me? Like think of
Yeah.
Dinosaur, think of Expedition
Mhm.
Everest. Um
Mhm.
Tron's the only time they actually had cubbies, I'm pretty sure, for place
Yeah.
for Disney. Expedition
Yeah.
Everest, Splash Mountain. I mean, you're taking a risk for
Mhm.
Splash Mountain, but it's just things like that. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why do I need a cubby for this ride that at most does this and goes down and
Yeah.
goes up. Like my bag is not going to fly out of there like it's a rocket. It's going to stay in my legs.
Yeah. That's the one thing I did enjoy about Epic because when I go to Universal, like if I go to Disney, I will bring a Loungefly or even a backpack and I will
Mhm.
stuff it full of stuff. Like I'll
Yeah.
put everything I might need in there and more. But when I go to Universal, I just bring like a fanny pack and I like wear it across.
Mhm.
And when I went to Epic, I actually brought a Loungefly. And I
Mhm.
did that because I was reading a lot of reviews that for a majority of the rides, you don't need um, to put your backpack up. And then if it is a ride that you do have like a locker. However, instead of unlocking with your ticket, which happens at Universal and Islands of Adventure, it's facial recognition. So you press a button, it'll take a picture of your face, and then when you
Whoa.
come back, you'll just say, I want to unlock my locker, and it'll unlock it. But the locker's actually big enough to hold a Loungefly.
That's impressive. I think
Yeah.
though, I think that they need to update Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure, and I think they should
Hmm.
do two things. They should make their tickets digital or have it be an option as like a convenience factor.
Hmm.
Um, and then also add, because now that they have Nintendo World, they're going to do power bands.
Hmm.
With, and you've seen
Yeah.
people at Nintendo Land. You saw them like hitting the thing to get the like tokens, and you like if you do all of them, you get to
Yeah.
do like a special mission. You know that thing?
Yeah, that was my regret too. I wish I got one,
Mm-hmm.
except it's like they haven't added Epic to the annual passes yet. So to me, I'm not going to spend what $160 to go to the park, spend an extra $40 to get one of these bands and maybe use it like once or twice before it's
Yeah.
added to the annual pass. Like I'd
Mm-hmm.
rather wait. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's a thing.
So I think though what they should do is they should have power bands, and maybe they figure something out where sure it's going to be the same as Magic Band, but it's going to be their own thing. Because I feel like
Hmm.
there's going to be people that want one that looks like Frankenstein esque or Dracula, or they could do the
I like
Invisible
that.
Man and it's just a clear band and then like a bandage look on the thing. See, they should hire me for the design. I'm just saying.
I like that.
However, with tech nowadays, I feel like they could also make like very small minimal bands that are essentially like almost like a piece of jewelry, but it's just like I have an example. Let me grab something.
Okay.
Basically, they should do something kind of like this, okay? So just
Yeah.
a piece of fabric to go around the wrist, and then the middle part is where it connects. Maybe for scale, this would have to be a little bit longer or slightly bulkier, but that's where the
Hmm.
chip is, and they can just have their guests. Hold on. Have these little bands, subtle, and it doesn't look dorky because some people don't like magic bands because they don't want some big
Yeah.
colorful thing, and it's also
They
just
are
so
clunky.
wide. They're so clunky. This is pretty much like nothing. So some people could wear this and then they can just go up to a locker, boom, and then they got their locker entry. Cuz I hated doing that when I had to go to Universal. I hated having to do the
Hmm.
pin and scan my ticket cuz it's also a piece of paper. And that thing by the end of the
Yeah.
day, it was so like it had no strength to it. It was so crumpled up.
Yeah.
It sucked. I was also going to show cuz you mentioned you could only use a small bag for Universal.
Hmm.
Let me show you the bag I had to use, and it barely fit.
Okay. I will say while he's grabbing that bag, I will say that they did create larger lockers for Epic. So if you were to go to Islands of Adventure or if you were to just go to Universal now, it's still going to be small lockers, but they have bigger
Ugh.
ones at Epic now, which is why a Loungefly can
Hmm.
fit.
Hmm. But then when you go to Universal Studios, what my hair is being stupid as hell. When I went to Universal Studios, I
Yeah.
brought this bag, so it's a Jungle Cruise bag.
Hmm.
Now the nice part about this is the bottom; it's just a soft fabric, so it's not like some bags where they have like a flat base so that it sits properly. This thing can be squished as much as I want. So when I went to Universal on like a solo day, I brought this with um my wallet, a charger, a cord for the charger, a cooling rag. So not a lot of bulky things. And then I bought a
Mhm.
wand. But the issue with the wand was it couldn't sit in the bag with the fabric because of how skinny the lockers were. So every time I did a ride that had a locker, I had to take the wand out, put it in the locker, and then get my bag and literally flatten it and shove it in. It was like
That's
it got a
crazy.
little annoying. I'll say that.
Yeah. This is gonna sound embarrassing. I'm so sorry if you work at Universal, but when I went, because I just recently got an annual pass like in February, I think, but when I went for the first time in like a hot minute, I didn't realize you're supposed to dump out the liquid in your cup because I thought like they were gonna be large enough to have a cup stand up. So like when I came back from Men in
Oh,
Black, like my drink spilled. And I was like,
oh,
"Oh." And then, like, that's when I realized they have boxes or, like, trash, I guess, for liquid
yeah,
specifically, but I did not notice those at Epic. So I'm not sure if because the lockers are now larger and things can fit upright, that you don't have to, like, toss out your drink. I mean, it's not a huge deal anyways if
perhaps.
you get the reusable cup because it's like, "Oh, let me go refill it again."
Mm-hmm. Maybe they're banking on people using the refillable cups.
Yeah, I will say it's a great deal. Like, it's $11. Like, if you already have the cup. If not, I think it's about 20 bucks. But it's $11 to activate your cup again. And it's like all day refills for like Coke Freestyle machines. So like sodas, like sparkling waters, Powerade for electrolytes. And
Mm-hmm.
then I found out that you can actually get ices in it too for that
Oh,
price.
see
Yeah.
that I think it would have been like I would have debated it, and then the second I see
Mhm.
ices included, I've been like, take my money.
Yeah,
I
I actually
think
did not know.
I think as well the price of the food, because you sent me a video of someone who did like basically everything on the menu. I
Mhm.
think the food overall, it's worth the price. Like, what was it, $22 for the Donkey Kong Sundae, but you also get the
I think
cup?
so. Barrel, yeah.
Yeah. So then $22 for something that you keep forever, and you get like the iconic thing in the park. I think that's worth it.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
think the one thing that is a bit much was that cake or that miniature Princess Peach cake at Nintendo. What is it? Toad's Cafe, Toadstool Cafe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I wanted to get it
there's nothing
so bad.
collectible about it. Like, it's just the cake
No.
that you eat.
Yeah, I wanted to get it so bad because I was actually going to Epic, like, to celebrate my birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out the reason it's so expensive, I think it's like 22 or $24, and it's like a
Mm-hmm.
replica of the Princess Peach cake, like, from the Mario games, but I
Mm-hmm.
found out it feeds 2 to 4 people. That's why it's, like,
Oh,
so
it looked so
expensive,
small in
but
the
it
video
doesn't look.
though.
Yeah, it does look small.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, "What?" But I really wanna eat at Toadstool Cafe, and one thing I like so much, I know I mentioned a little bit earlier, the merchandise is so good,
Mm-hmm.
but because they have Toadstool Cafe, they have Chef Toad merch. So I bought a Chef Toad hat, and it's like Chef Toad standing up, and then he has like a spatula and like a pan in the other hand,
That's
and
awesome.
it's just so cute. They have like like kitchen towels and stuff too, but the merchandise was great. I
Mm-hmm.
loved it, and I can't wait to buy more.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. Like, I don't know what it is. I love looking at merch shops because it's interesting to see
Mhm.
how do they make things almost subtle, but also still very much
Yeah,
pop. Like the Donkey Kong
yeah.
stuff I thought was good. I just wish that I hope that in the future they do more Donkey Kong stuff that's like
Mhm,
I don't know, maybe like desk ornaments or like stationaries that look like
mhm.
the Tiki Tack group. Here, let me pull it up. Do, 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 uh,
Yeah.
I can't type
I
when this mic is in my
loved
way.
how I loved how a lot of the Super Nintendo merchandise, it was very over the top. Like they had like these giant like hats that
Mhm.
you see very common like at theme parks in Japan of like the character head. I love that.
Mhm.
So
Like
fun.
so like a big thing I noticed for Donkey Kong Country was there
Yeah.
was some character art or like designs that were clearly from this video game. And like a
Uh-huh.
few things were just the game in general. But like imagine if they
Yeah.
had like wooden or synthetic wooden mock of these characters or like the minions in the game or like even this and it was like a not a popcorn holder but maybe a cup
Mhm.
and then like
Oh,
I
that'd
don't know
be
maybe
cool.
these were drink stands so the hands were just flat down.
That's cool.
I feel like that's a very like you don't know how quickly I'd buy every single one of these guys and just have them
Yeah.
scattered around the house.
It's like, "Hey."
Mm-hmm.
I was actually disappointed though with the Harry Potter merchandise. Like I said, I'm not a big Harry Potter person, but I was trying to um help Brayden like find something
I
and
thought you only
everything
looked
was
at
like,
two of the four stores though.
well, one store was the candy store and then the other
Mm-hmm.
one was the wand shop.
And then what were the other two? Just merch?
The other two, yeah, just the merch, and I sent you pictures, but it was like generic, like Harry Potter stuff. Like they had
Mm-hmm.
some Ministry of Magic, but it was like nothing subtle. It was like Hufflepuff. It was like Slytherin, and like
Yeah.
I don't
See,
know. I
yeah,
was not very impressed.
I think what they're doing is they're doing the stuff that's like very much in your face and kind of like
Hmm.
obvious, like because again, like that is such a big thing for Universal. Like all of Harry
Yeah.
Potter is going to be major for them, Hogwarts especially.
Hmm.
But something I love about like Diagon Alley, especially, is there's so much merch at Diagon Alley that's like it's a Horcrux or it's like a cane or it's a desk ornament, and it's
Hmm.
stuff that's like it has this like magic look, but it doesn't say the words Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part One on it. Like it doesn't say because I'm sorry, that stuff is
Yeah.
cheesy. I hate when it just says the name of a movie.
That. Yeah. I mean, it didn't have the movie names, but it had like Hufflepuff, like Harry Potter. Like you
But
could obviously
that's
tell.
still
Like,
very much just like this. Like
yeah.
I think
You
I talked about this in a previous episode. Even things like the Mummy ride, it has some of the best merch I've ever seen, and it seems like a
because
movie
it's
that
subtle.
shouldn't. Yeah, and it seems like a movie that shouldn't have like such great merch or such great attention, and yet it does. Like it just works.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was just like so strange. And I did say like it felt empty, and they did have like these storefronts because it looks like you're supposed to be in Paris or
Hmm.
whatever. I don't know.
It's
But it,
some area in France. Yeah.
okay, perfect. But they had like these storefronts, and like some of them looked like they could be real shops, but like they weren't open, or like
Hmm.
maybe it was fake. So I don't know if they're planning on opening up more shops and just for the preview at the moment. It's just
Hmm.
those 4 shops. I don't know. It was just very weird. I thought there would have been a better merch selection for that. But Dark Universe had a really great selection of like subtle merch. They had like shirts, like button downs
Hmm.
with like Dracula on it. I was like, ooh,
Well, I
love a
think
vampire.
for the Hogwarts area, or not Hogwarts, Harry Potter area.
Hmm.
If I remember correctly, there was so the four merch, the one show, the one ride, and then isn't there also a bar and two restaurants or one restaurant?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know there was like an outdoor seating portion to one of the restaurants. It looked like a sit down restaurant, but I like one that actually had like a waiter or waitress. But I
Do
don't know
they
if they only have one restaurant, but I know they
mhm.
have a bar.
Do they also have butterbeer? Cuz like I know that butterbeer is a very big like in universe it's going to be uh like not Europe, but like what's more specific to that region, like where Hogwarts takes place. So
Funny you say that.
yeah,
I I I actually did get butterbeer there. It's just spelled
okay.
differently. It's
What
like
is it
butter
called?
beer. Like it's like butter beer, but it's like Biere.
Oh, so it's French,
Yeah, it's like French
I
butter
think.
beer. But it was pretty good. I mean, it's the same exact thing.
Hmm. I gotta see this place in person. It looks
Yeah.
very very interesting,
It
and
was
I'm curious to
impressive.
I'm curious to see what the shade situation is because whenever I think of a place with bad shade, I think of Epcot. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, and I love Epcot, so I hate to say it, but
Mhm.
whenever I think about going to Epcot, I think about how much time I have to spend outside before I get to the next indoor place.
Yeah.
And then, like, because Magic Kingdom has a lot of trees, Hollywood Studios has a good amount of indoor space you can walk through or shaded.
Mhm.
And then Animal Kingdom is completely forested. So that's fine.
Humid. Yeah, I will say another thing too that I noticed. Um, Great, and I lost it. You said something about the shade and it like a light bulb went off.
And then
And
that
I was
light
like,
bulb
"Ooh."
just like burnt out in your head.
Yeah, I forgot, but it was something about Epic.
The shade, the
I don't
trees.
yes, I remember. The corral. I was live texting you through this.
Mm-hmm.
So Epic opened at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get there like as soon as it opened. I was like one of the first few people to park and security like let us in at 9:30, but I was not staying at a hotel, so I couldn't do early entry. So I was just kind of waiting around until 11, and I thought they were going to let us into at least Celestial Park. Like that's a huge area, but like not have any of the rides quite open. Um Oh boy, was I wrong. They're just like holding us. Like you could not go past like a certain point at all.
Weird.
And it was just like a very small corral area. Like, yes, there was a Starbucks and like two gift shops, but there wasn't anywhere to sit. And like, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to stand for over an hour in direct sun and like have my place in line for when they actually let us through. Like, I thought that was stupid. But
Yeah.
I found there was like a restaurant off to the side and I just decided to sit there at the
I
outdoor seating.
didn't you also tell me that people staying at resorts for the early preview
Mhm.
got some like memorabilia coin or something along those lines, but then they made it clear only afterwards to the people who have opening day resort stays they won't get that merch. Isn't there
Yes,
some
okay,
like
this is
can you translate it because I forget the exact details.
yes, yes, okay, so this is Twitter tea. Obviously, don't know how true it is, but a lot of people were, like, saying the same thing, so the stories are kinda corroborating there. But for the new hotel that overlooks Epic Universe, it starts with an H, and I butcher the spelling or the name every single time, the pronunciation. Helios? Helios?
Helios, I would say Helios.
Helios. Okay, yeah. So the Helios Hotel, um, a lot of people during the preview were able to stay, and I guess for the first night that they had it open for like during the previews, they gave out like this special silver commemorative coin, and it
Hmm.
said like Epic Universe or like Helios Hotel, and it said like grand opening, and like a lot of people who were posting pictures of it and like showing it off were fucking pissed because a lot of people who had it booked for May 22nd, which is when Epic opens and when the grand opening of
Hmm.
that hotel opens, they
Hmm.
were like so upset because apparently they're only giving that coin out for that day and they're not going to get anything on the actual grand opening.
Now that sucks no matter what.
Yeah.
I want to speculate though and be Mr. Alien
Ooh.
Conspiracy and say, what if Universal is giving bad news in anticipation that tariffs are still in effect when May 22nd comes, and they want to avoid making promises they can't keep because all of this merchandise is made overseas, and then when they bring it over, it'll cost them so much more for free merch that they're trying to give away to be nice, but then suddenly it's going to cost the company more. So what they're doing is saying, no, it's not going to be here. But in the back of their mind, they're like, please, for the love of God, have tariffs drop or be taken away so that we can get the merch into ports, into our stores, and given to these people who have booked in advance.
I don't know. I feel like commemorative coins are something that would be like ordered like well in advance. Like, and I doubt they would run out. That's
But
why
no,
I'm
no,
like
but it's
iffy
not.
about that.
It's no, no, no. It's not running out. There's ordering it, but then there's importing it. So my thought is they did ordered a lot of these, but they have to
Yeah.
stay overseas because I swear, isn't tariffs don't tariffs affect a company when they get imported physically? Am I correct on that?
I don't
I want to
know.
assume that.
I'm just a girl. I don't know how tariffs
I'm
work.
just a girl who books
Just a
flights five
girl.
days a week.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry.
that's okay. But what was I gonna say? No, I feel like they would already have those like in possession, you know what I mean? But
Maybe.
the one rumor I heard, I was so upset. I was like crashing out. Guys, remember I was talking about that bear Captain Cacao?
Yeah, they ran out of merch
Guess
until
what?
like the end of the summer.
Yeah, apparently there was a rumor going around again on Twitter, so take this with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But apparently there was a rumor that they're like sold out of Captain Cacao until like August or October. But I heard that they only stopped selling them because they want to have enough for like the actual grand opening.
Hmm.
And my friend's there today, and I texted him and I said, "Hey, do they have Captain Cacao? Like, can you pick me one up? Like, is he in stock?" He's like, "No, out of stock." So now I'm like, okay, I want to see what happens when the park opens. Like, are they gonna have him, or could
Yeah,
it be like this tariff thing?
those damn tariffs.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unfortunate that like that's something you have to consider like well not like consider wholeheartedly, but it's something you have to think of
yeah,
like is this the reason this thing happened? And you'd
yeah.
never think about that. You'd just think that oh, Magic Kingdom ran out of Dole Whip merch because they underestimated how many
No.
people were buying it. But then another thing, and this is just like a mini rant, is the reason
Yeah.
that businesses like Epic or Universal or Disney wouldn't care about scalpers is all they care about is they sell the merch. Afterwards, they don't care what happens to it.
Yeah.
And I even saw
Hey, I
do you remember? Have you ever seen? And for those who are watching, there's a guy who makes TikToks and Instagram videos of like POV working at Magic Kingdom, and he like kind of makes it like a satire thing. Like he's kind of joking about
Is
it.
he the one with the glasses?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He wears
Yeah.
the glasses. Oh, I love him.
He actually made a video about it, and he's like, at the end of the day, they just want to sell the merch. What happens with the merch
Yeah.
afterwards? It's like out of their hands. They have no control over it. So if someone scalps and takes every hoodie off of a rack, they sold a whole rack of clothes. That's
Yeah.
all that matters. And that makes sense, but it also sucks that it's like business comes before satisfaction.
Yeah, I have a funny story about that. So I did the Run Disney Springtime Surprise Weekend. I don't think we spoke about it because we were on our break, but I did
Is this the
that
one where
and
you did three races and you thought you weren't going to do the third one and then you pushed through it?
yeah, and I met Baymax.
Also, congrats everyone to Lyn. She did what is it, 5K, 10K, 10 mile, and the 10 mile you really
Yeah.
thought you just couldn't do it because you injured your foot or your leg, and then on the day of you actually
Yeah,
did it.
yeah. Woohoo!
Let's go.
Yeah, so I did it. It was exciting. And I met Baymax. And I got
Hmm.
my Baymax medal, which was the whole reason I signed up in the first place. Anyways,
Hmm.
it was so funny because they have like a giant expo for the Run Disney like weekends and you can buy like your merchandise there. And the merchandise sells out fast. Like I again love Baymax and they had a pink Baymax shirt where he's like sleeping on the ground and it says running again tomorrow question mark and it was the last one and my friend grabbed me one. She's like, "I'm sorry it's large, but she's like, at least you have one." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, like that's fine, like no big deal." And they did not restock that at all for the rest of the weekend. But
Wow.
then 2 days after the whole entire race weekend ended, everything went over to the outlets. So if I wanted to get like some Run Disney merchandise from that weekend, since I
Hmm.
ran in it, I can just go and get it
Like, are we talking cast
in the
connections or
outlets.
those third party companies?
Well, Disney has their own outlet. It's like
Yeah.
Disney Character Warehouse.
Well, cast connections.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's
Wait,
the same thing, but
what's the one you just said?
you've never heard of Disney or Character Warehouse, it's owned by Disney.
Where
Oh
is it
my
in
god, I know
Florida?
where I'm taking you. It's
Oh
like
no.
right across from Disney Springs at the outlet mall. Last One of the last times I was there, I got into a car accident, so I'm always kind of scared going there.
Oh, great.
Yeah, no,
This?
this is owned. Yeah, it's owned by Disney. They have one location near Universal, and then they have one right across the outlets, like next to Disney Springs.
Maybe this will.
And then there's also one like near Miami.
Okay, here I'm zooming in. Damn, that's so crazy. They have their own merchandise near Universal. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
well, it's at one of. Yeah, it's like one of the outlet malls.
Okay, well,
We can
here's
go there if you
this.
want.
There's this one. This
Yeah.
is this the name of the place?
Yeah, that's like the outlet mall.
So what is this near? Oh, here.
This one is the
Oh, this is near
one
Universal.
by. Yeah, that's the Universal one.
Oh, wow, that's incredibly close. Okay, and then what's this
And
one
then that
near?
one is
Is that
right across from Disney Springs.
where's Disney Springs?
If you keep going like towards your left,
Oh,
it's like
oh,
right there.
okay, so here's yeah, okay, so here's Disney Springs, everybody. And you go up
Like, let's
the
go.
and it's right here. No, I want to go. I've never even heard of this.
I got a pair of Baymax like ears, like the ear hat, not like the headband, for
Hmm.
$1.99 there.
That's really good. So like
Like,
where does
it's
what
not
does
bad.
this compare to Cast Connections? Is Cast Connections kind of like the bottom of the ladder? Like it starts at the proper merch and then it goes to Character Warehouse and then it goes to Cast Connections?
I think
Is
it
that how?
goes cast connections to Character Warehouse, but I know sometimes they have
Hmm.
like a lot of the same things.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just like crazy. You can get like the merch there for like a fraction of the cost.
Well, I would assume I gotta argue and say I think it's the opposite because you and I have been to Cast Connections, and this isn't like
Yeah,
slander in any way. This is just because they need to
I
try
just
to sell the merch, and people will buy anything.
yeah.
There's like a lot of things at Cast Connections that are like 2 years old. Like that backpack that I showed earlier in this episode, that thing I got in 2022, and people said they haven't seen it on the shelf for 2 or 3 years. So I got a late stock
That's crazy.
that didn't sell, and then COVID happened, so I guess nothing sold. So they put a lot of stuff in warehouse. But what I'm trying to say is, I think Cast Connections is the stuff that's like either faulty, has never sold, and won't sell, or is kind of
Yeah.
seen as like a relic, and they know that big Disney fanatics have a connection and will go to this store, or Disney employees
Hmm.
are such big fans they'll buy it themselves.
That makes sense.
That's my
It's
that's
like
my
crazy
thinking.
too because I feel like Character Warehouse, it doesn't have like the same things Cast Connection does. Like, yeah, they'll sell
Mm-hmm.
um like clothing, or they'll sell like pins and stuff like that, but it really depends. But I spent like what, I want to say like 8 or 10 bucks on my Baymax magnet that says like I did it 19.3 miles, and then now at Character Warehouse I think it's like 3 or 4 bucks.
Yeah, I
It's
want to
like,
say
dang.
as well, like pins, especially at Cast Connections. Do you remember? For those who haven't been, imagine
A
um
warehouse kinda.
yeah, imagine you walked into like Walmart and then there's like no shelves, okay? So, well, like that's the easiest way to begin, okay?
Yeah,
So you just have
yeah.
your big warehouse and then it seems like they put shelves and like low shelves. They don't put like the ones that are at Walmart. They put ones that are like
Mhm.
4 feet tall. So you can see
Yeah.
everything no matter what direction you're facing and no matter what aisle you're in, and everything's kind of just like based on the stock they have. They organize racks and the circular kind of racks to fit what they
Mhm.
need. There's one spot in the middle that's like their pin section, and it's sometimes like twice
Mhm.
as big or half as big. It depends. But you remember, Lynn, the pins that they would have at Cast Connections? I'm sorry, they were like so like unliked. Like they were bottom tier.
I feel like it was hit or miss though, because I actually bought a lot. On my last program, I bought it was actually a postcard of Meet the Robinsons, and then it has Wilbur, and then that guy. I can't think of his name. The blonde one. It has them
Uh-huh.
together. I actually have it like right up here, and it's like a stamp, and it says "To the Future." This is
Yeah.
it. I got this from Cast Connections.
I think the only two that because I'm looking at my wall actually. I think the only two I got from Cast Connections was they had a heroes and villains saga, and it was a very specific
I
art
remember
style.
that.
I got Mr. Incredible and I got Syndrome. Everything else
Oh,
though I've
nice.
bought from the store. Yeah.
No, what was it? It wasn't Lorcana that because that wasn't out yet, but it was like one of the like the heroes pins or whatever. It's like Baymax and his power armor is for like
Mm,
one of the games or something. I have that. I have like quite a few. Um, but yeah, I kind of bought pins too.
yep.
I will say, I will never ever ever leave the Cast Connections Facebook group.
Oh, there's so much drama in it. I don't know if we can. We gotta save it from another episode. But yeah, Lynn and I talk about it infrequently because something new will come up, and we're just like, this seems ridiculous.
The latest thing, from what I've seen in there, they were trying to like introduce an AI bot so people would stop asking the same questions,
Oh my
and like the
god.
comments were like, why are you doing this? Like, you guys can't take the time out of your day to like answer a question. Like, there's so many of us in here. Like,
Yeah,
AI's bad, and it was like just crazy. And then apparently at Cast Connections, I guess people are actually stealing the pins, so now they're locking up the pins, and you have to like ask for them.
can't have shit in Detroit. I
Can't have
wanted
shit
to.
at
I just
Cast
noticed we actually
Connections.
got close to an hour. Lynn and I had a
Yeah.
couple things we were going to talk about. I guess we'll talk about it next episode. We're avid
Sorry, guys.
gamers and we have Reddit stuff, so that'll be next time.
Mhm.
But I want to end the
Yeah.
episode with a post I found in the Universal Epic Universe subreddit because it's something that I've talked about
Scared.
before. I don't like virtual queue. I don't think it's a healthy thing to introduce
Oh,
to
yeah.
parks. And I think it diminishes the park joy of going on vacation. Like it just adds stress. So the caption is literally just virtual line, easily the worst. And it's part of what you said too, Lynn. So let me just say from this other
Mhm.
person's perspective. I really hope that there are changes coming to the functionality for the virtual line system. Have been at the park for 2 days, and the anxiety around having to focus on the app for 10 to 20 minutes just to click a button, select a time slot, and then be denied with all the slots unavailable is peak negative user experience. I
Yep.
understand things are in technical rehearsal, but if this is going to be standard moving forward, many guests will be walking away with some major negative experiences. Haven't managed to get a single drop today without much hope for the future. Hearing tons of negative comments around us in line when it happens as well. I'd rather open the app, look at a 240-minute wait time, groan, and then pick a different ride, but simply not even being given the option for one of the major rides in the park sucks. And I agree. They
Yeah.
I and sure, maybe it's technical, maybe they just made an app and they were just like this will be user error and they're trying to get feedback,
Mhm.
but they got to get rid of virtual queue. They just got to make it that here's the wait time and it's bad. I think what they should do
Yeah.
is because if they can see wait times and they can average out like, you know, based on data what a good wait time it is, what a bad wait time it is, they should be able to
Mhm.
have guests say what rides they want to go on and which rides they don't care to go on, and then they can have like the very first page that comes up, it says
Mhm.
currently these three rides have really low wait times, we recommend you go on them. These rides are really long, we recommend you wait another time or purchase fast pass, because in that
Yeah.
way you're recommending to guests, hey, you want to do these rides, well here's the good and here's the bad right now, come back another time if you want to try the
Mhm.
other ones. And then they can also as a user just say,
Yeah.
I've written this, so that the app knows, okay, don't notify them
Mhm.
about that ride, notify them about the other rides they haven't been on.
Yeah. When I went, I again went by myself. So I utilized the single rider lines, but it was like kind of weird at times they would like shut down single rider lines. I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
It was strange because I remember like earlier in the day I wanted to do Donkey Kong and it was already at a 70-minute wait and they shut down like the single rider line, like it
But
said not
why?
open. I don't know, but then I go to Dark Universe and Monsters Unchained or Unleashed was like
Hmm.
120 minutes and I do single rider, I was on in less than 5 minutes. It's like so
Damn.
weird.
I think a
I
thing
just, I don't know.
they have to emphasize though is like what like if you're going into a single rider lane, you can't argue with the cast
Yeah.
member and request that you stay with your party or something like that. Because I've seen people
Yeah.
do that, and it is
Mhm.
annoying to listen to. I think they should
Yeah.
they unfortunately need a cast member at the front that's like hey
Mhm.
guys, I noticed you guys are traveling together. Just so you know, this is single rider. You will be separated. There's no guarantee you'll be in the same car. And then that way, when they get to the
Yeah.
front and they try to argue, the second cast member will be like, well, hey, I know that there's a cast member at the front, and I know they told you this. So
Mhm.
see ya.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say, like, my best experience though, I did single rider line on Donkey Kong, waited about like 45 minutes in the heat. It was kind of brutal. Got
Mm-hmm.
off. Then I went to Yoshi and it said 45 minutes. I was like, all right, well, I basically just waited 45 minutes. And then I get inside Yoshi. It was like less than a 15-minute wait. And at that point, Mario Kart has been down for like hours now.
Wow.
And then when I get off of Yoshi, I see people sprinting up like those stairs. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, oh my God, I think Mario Kart is back open. So then I get
Mm-hmm.
onto Mario Kart and I was one of the first people in single rider line. And I was able to do like all three Mario Kart rides in less than like an hour.
That's awesome.
It's
And
kind of crazy.
we're at the end of the episode, and I don't think we talked about it. But didn't you tell me that you kind of like teared up after riding Mario Kart because it was like your childhood came
Yeah.
to life?
Yeah, I used to play on my baby pink Nintendo DS that had a Princess Peach cover on it, and
Hell yeah.
I would play Mario Kart like so bad on my DS Lite. I'd play it and it was just like such a beautiful ride. I loved it. I think next time I would probably ride it without the AR glasses, and I think I
Mhm.
would just ride it as if it were a dark ride because some people have done that, and on the subreddit for Universal, they were saying it's still an amazing ride. It's just a lot to look at, but I was like tearing up. I was like, oh, that was so good.
I'm excited to try that.
Yeah,
Whew.
I'm excited.
I think though overall, I'm excited for um, Monsters Unchained first because I've heard such incredible stuff about it.
So
Donkey Kong because it's cool to see a unique style of a ride vehicle, and then
mhm.
Ministry of Magic. And I put it at third only because I've heard some people compare it to Hogwarts, the ride at Islands of Adventure. So I need to see how
That's
much of a comparison it is.
That's funny because I've actually heard people compare it to Spider-Man.
What? Okay, I got to find out what
Yeah,
kind of ride
at
vehicle it is then.
Islands.
All right.
Yeah.
But damn,
I want to go
that's
back to Epic.
well, when we go back, we'll have to have another episode about it and do a deep
Oh
dive,
my
but
God, yeah.
it's unfortunately I think a good time for us to end things for this week. So thank you all for
Yappers.
watching. Sorry we took so long to film this episode. We hope you all
Stay wild.